Story time on how my mum called the police on me and my boyfriend for giving my brother food. Okay, so I decided to take my two brothers bowling with my boyfriend to go get some food just to have a day out because I don't see them much anymore because I don't live with them, I live with my boyfriend. And obviously I didn't want them to feel like I'd abandoned them. One was only 7 and the other one was only 13. So I didn't want them to feel any type of way, so I decided to take them out. We all had a great time. We were on our way back, but the fog was extremely heavy and thick, like it just came upon us. Now my boyfriend is a really good driver. His dad has been teaching him how to drive since he could remember. But because the fog was so thick, he mistook the curb for a lane, like he genuinely could not see. And we hit the curb. It wasn't like a big crash, it was genuinely, it just popped the tyre. The first thing we did was check on my little brothers because that's my main concern. And then he went outside, called his parents, and obviously got in contact with people to come and tow the car. Obviously I had to have my brothers back by a certain time, so the first thing I did was get in contact with my mum. And I let her know that we're just in a bit of a predicament. I told her what happened and that we're not going to be home by the time she wants us. She was asking me where I was. I was like, I know where I am, but I don't know what the street is called. I know exactly where I am. I can't get out the car to go and find anything because it's so foggy, and that way I'd be leaving my brothers alone in the car. So I don't know what you want me to do. She was saying she wanted to get a taxi from hers all the way to where we were. Now that is like a 40-minute drive and the wait for the taxi itself. So I said, by the time you get here, we're going to be gone. You may as well just wait for us. She didn't take that well. She started kicking off at me on the phone in front of her son, saying that I'm slandering her in front of her kids. I wasn't doing anything, but I was just trying to make the best out of a situation that was pretty sticky, you know what I mean? Anyway, I got them home safely, and when I then got home, she called me and she was kicking off at me, kicking off at my boyfriend, and obviously my boyfriend had had enough of her and decided to kick off back. I hung up the phone and told him to just stay out of it. So I called her back and she told me I wasn't allowed to see my brothers and she made them block me. So fast forward a couple of weeks and my brother unblocks me and he lets me know that he's hungry. And I'm like, okay, what do you want? I'll go to the shop and I'll get you something. He told me everything that he wanted and I got it. Some crisps, some chocolate, some sweets, some like drinks, anything he wanted, I went and got it. I went to go give my brother the food and she locked herself in his room, right, with him and refused to let me in. So I'm trying to talk to her through the door going, I just want to give him his food, I'll give him a hug and I'll go. And she's going, no Ellie, you're not allowed to see your brothers. I don't even know why he's got you unblocked. And I'm like, but why? They are my brothers. Not only are you punishing me for something I couldn't help, which was hitting a curb in horrible weather, but you are punishing me by taking away my little brothers from me. Removing the right I have to see my siblings away from me, like what? So because I'm saying I'm not going anywhere, I just want to give him some food and then I'll go. Like, I'm not trying to cause a problem, I just want to give him some food. He texted me saying he was hungry. Like, I'm not causing anything here. She gets on the phone to the police and she tells them that me and my boyfriend are being aggressive. And I'm like, what the fuck? The police are obviously asking, do they live there? That she's like, no, they don't live here. Please come and remove them, arrest them, do whatever you need to do, just get them out of my house. She hangs up on the police because the police are on the way and she gets on the phone to my older sister. Now my older sister's just saying, if she's saying she'll go after she's given him the food, just let her. You can't stop her from seeing her brothers anyway, that's tight. And because my sister's not siding with my mum, she starts trying to give my sister shit and my sister just hangs up. She's not having none of it. So I'm trying to talk to my mum through this door and I'm just like, just please let me in. Okay, just let me in, I'll give him the food and I'll go. There's no issue, you do not need to make something out of this. Woman, come on. She's sat in the room still making the same point. No, you shouldn't be here. I don't know why your brother's unblocked you. I'll wait till the police get here, thank you. And I'm like, right, okay. So the police get here and my boyfriend that happens to be the one that lets them in. And they're like asking him what's going on. One of them goes to talk to my mum and the other comes to talk to me and my boyfriend. Right, so I'm explaining, I literally got a message off my brother saying that he was hungry. I bought him some food and my mum's refusing to let me give it to him. She's also banned me from seeing my brothers, which is fucking pathetic. So the police officer that was talking to my mum came to me and my boyfriend and said that we'd been being really aggressive and threatening her. I was like, we recorded this shit. The first thing I did when I walked through that door was looked at my boyfriend and said, record this, because I know my mum, okay? And we pulled up the recording, showed the police that we weren't threatening her, weren't being aggressive, I just wanted to give my brother some food. So obviously the police caught on that this woman is lying and just trying to get her own way. So they looked at my mum and said, let her give her brother the food, let her see her brother for a minute and then they'll go. We will take them out of this house. Right? So I go upstairs, I give him the food, I give him a hug, I say I love you, and I leave. Right? Me and my boyfriend are both going. Okay? The police leave, whatever. I get home and my brother's blocked me again. My mum is refusing to talk to me. My mum's blocked me, my little brother's blocked me, and my other little brother has blocked me. I am completely blocked by that family. She blocked my boyfriend, and obviously my boyfriend didn't really have my brother's numbers anyway, or their Snapchat, or any sort of social media. but we cannot get in contact with my brothers or with my mum because she decided to completely erase me from the family. My sister tried to tell my mum that not only is she punishing me, but she's also punishing my 2 brothers by taking their sister away from them, and that is tight. They're just kids, they don't know what's going on and they don't understand why they can't see their sister anymore, and that is pathetic. As a mother, you should never do that. She didn't have any of it. I finally did get unblocked by them, but they've seen these story times. They've seen them, and let's just say there's been Facebook posts made about me.
I have an autoimmune disorder, and one time I went through a flare-up where every single lymph node from the base of my neck to the top of my head swelled to the size of a golf ball. I looked like Quasimodo, and it lasted a month. About a week into that ordeal, I decided I don't want to do this anymore. I have no will to survive or live. I gotta get the fuck up out of here. I need my mommy. So I book a flight back to the East Coast to go to my mama's house. I put on my biggest hoodie. I tie it tight underneath my neck. My head was shaped like a rhombus. It did nothing to help. I put on shades. I went to the airport. I looked like E.T.I., E.T. Payne, E2 Chain. That was dumb. But I did scare quite a few children. I leave the airport, go to my mama's house. As soon as I get there, she puts me straight in the bathtub. She fills it up. She starts throwing leaves at me. I don't know where the fuck she got them from, but some were small, some were big. And when I say big, I mean Jurassic Park size big. I don't know where the fuck she got them. This goddamn big, okay? She had me in there marinating in 11 herbs and spices like a Popeye's chicken. She was taking the leaves and smacking me in my head with them, and she was praying and singing the entire time. Throughout the day, aunties would walk in and cycle in and out, in the bathtub with me. Everybody was in the bathroom with me. I'm fully naked. I was in my early 20s, but I was a grown woman, okay? I have one auntie feeding me rice and peas while I'm in the motherfucking tub. That was nice. Everybody else is in there praying, singing, loud, poorly, loud, okay? Do I think it worked? Hell yeah. 3 weeks later, I look like this again. Now, I did go see my rheumatologist about twice, and she did put me on a string of steroids. But that's neither here nor there. It was the Haitian ladies that did it. So I go back to LA, and I walk into 2 things. One, unemployment. Yeah, I had like 18 hours of vacation and sick time combined, and I used them all before I even hopped on the plane. So I had no job. Also, I walked into moving. I had completely forgot that we had agreed that we were going to all move and go our separate ways in 3 months. We had put in our notice. One, because one of my roommates had decided to move back to Atlanta. I know you're watching this. I miss you, girl. Come back. The other one, she had 2 dogs and a boyfriend, and she was making big bank, so it made no sense for her to be a roommate. I understand. You don't want us hear you getting smashed anymore. I get it, girl. There were guttural noises. I understand. You know? Now, at this point in time, I had no job. Within that, because I had 2 months left at this point. Let's keep up, okay? I used the first month of the 3 months at my mama's house. Then I had 2 more months left until I had to be out that bitch. Now, the first month, I spent the entire time applying for jobs, driving around trying to find jobs, doing all the things. During that time, somebody broke into my car, stole it. It ended up getting impounded. They tried to charge me to get it out the impound. I had no money. I left it there. What you want me to do? All the coins I had were for me to eat and survive. By the end of that second month, I had $32 to my name. Not even exaggerating. I also had a bag and a pocket full of pride because I told no one. My roommates were just like, ooh, show us the places you've been looking at. And my friend, my other roommate, she had already found a place. She moved out early. And I'm just lying. You know what I mean? My pride would be the end of me if I didn't go to therapy and started working on it. I'm better now. Not as good as I should be, but better. I'm that friend who will literally be facing 30 to life and won't tell you until I get acquitted. And then I'll be like, y'all, let me tell you something crazy. Anyway, so I have no car, I have no job, I have no money. I gotta move in a month. What do? I go home one day when they both at work, or not even both, just one of them, because the other one moved out. And I drop down to my knees and I start praying and crying. Yeah, that's what they taught me to do in church. And that's my automatic reaction every single time I'm overwhelmed. I'm on my knees, screaming, praying, crying. And I'm calling on everybody, not just Jesus. I'm also calling on the ancestors. I'm tapping into both realms, okay? I need everybody to work. Everybody clock the fuck in. Now, 2 days later, I'm on Instagram. I had just posted a story of a PB&J that I thought was epic. I thought I really ate that shit up, that I was eating for dinner. And I get a DM from this man who I don't know personally, never saw his page, never saw him before. His name was Tunde. Tunde DMs me and he says, hey, you want to make some money? A couple $1,000s? I say, hell yeah, grandma. I said, clock in. She said, say yes. Okay. So I said, I do want to make some money. So what does he say? He says, all right. Who do you bank for? Or who do you bank with? I say Bank of America. He says perfect. He tells me he gonna wire me a check for some money. I just gotta accept it and then wire him back a certain amount. I keep the rest. I say that's easy. I decide I'm gonna vet him a little bit. I go on his page. 2 days seem pretty chill. You know, we have a real conversation. He got pictures on his page. He's standing in front of private jets, Maseratis, Lamborghinis. You know, expensive dinners. I said, oh, he no money. He not new to this. He true to this. I could trust him. Pause. I need y'all to also understand that my frontal lobe was not fully formed at this point in time. I was a baby bird, still in the nest, with my neck up to the sky, mouth open, waiting for the universe to drop blessings down. I didn't realize that I had to flap my wings and fly about that nest. I had no idea. I was just waiting for the universe to fix it. Complacency. Yes. You know? Yeah. Back to the story. So I do it. About a day later, he starts texting me and he's like, yo, the wire ain't clear yet. What's going on your end? And I'm like, I don't know. It says pending. He says, well, what's happening? Send me screenshots. And I'm like, yo, calm down. Baby, you said you did this 1,000,000 times. Why are you stressing? I'm not. Relax. Relax. You said this was legal. Relax. Turns out it was not legal and he had reason to not relax and I shouldn't have been relaxed. The next day, I start getting phone calls from the fraud department of Bank of America and they start throwing legal terms at me and things like criminal action. And I said, hold on one moment, please just pause 1 second for me. Put the phone down, hang up instead. Pick the phone up, call my best friend. I say, hypothetically, if a man named Tunde slid into your DMs and he promised to help you flip some money and make 3 bands, and so you accept a wire and then send him money and then you get flogged for fraud, will you go to jail? And she says, Mindy, there's no way you did that. I said, it's hypothetical, but answer the question. And she says, Mindy, you can't be this dumb. I hang up the phone. I wait for fraud to call me back because, of course, they were blowing my shit up. They call me back, and we all know what I did next. Class, let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. I snitched! I snitched. I sent them screenshots of all these pages. I sent them screenshots of all our conversations. I said, I am just a pretty princess. I am a dumb little girl. You know? I'm just a pretty princess. I'm a baby girl. I don't know what I'm doing. What's money? What is it? It should be free. So they tell me, hey, unfortunate that your ignorance put you in this situation, but you will never be able to bank with us again. That check, it's in the ether. It's gone. No one's getting it. No one's getting it. The money that you had in your account, we're going to mail to you. So your account is not forever closed, and you have a check in the mail for $30.27. I took that L with grace. I did because I understood that was my fault. So now I have about 3 weeks left to find an apartment. I have no money whatsoever, and I still haven't told anyone. I'm taking hot girl walks every day, finding chump change on the ground, collecting 30 cents here, 40 cents there, so that I can go to the 99-cent store and buy another loaf of bread. Also, so I can keep this body right and tight. You know, I was eating bad. I had no choice. Now, about a week later, and y'all, time crunch is 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I go check my mail because I need that $30. I open up the mailbox, see it, Bank of America. I say, praise God. Open it up. I shit you not. I hear the sound of cherubs. It was literally the most angelic sounds ever. It was like Lettucey, Jill Scott, motherfucking Summer Walker were doing a perfect harmony in my ears. Pull the check out, y'all. They made a boo-boo. They made a whoop-de-doo. And they sent me a check for $3,030.27. Today! Never let me down. I feel bad for snitching on him.
story time. Okay, it's January 2024. I'm a senior in high school. I have a boyfriend I've been dating for about 2 years. We're in a rough patch. We're not doing so good. But, you know, we're still together. We're still doing this. I have a gay best friend, me and Diego. We're in our prime friendship. We're hanging out. It's a dark evening. It's like 6-7 p.m. And, we're driving around in my old Beamer, getting a 4x4 from Wendy's, whatever. We have a mutual friend, me and Diego, Elijah. Sometimes we hang out with Elijah. Sometimes, you know, all three of us hang out. I'm driving. I get a DM. It's Elijah. Your boyfriend got on the school bus. That's all it says. Okay? We haven't been talking all day. It's just a random message. What? I text Elijah. What do you mean? What? So many questions. My boyfriend doesn't even ride the school bus. So I'm confused. Elijah's not answering. I start calling Elijah. Hello, answer. He's not answering. I turn my car around and I drive to his city because I know where he lives. I go 8 minutes to his city, get to his house, knock on his door. His mom answers. She's like, oh, hi, Tati. Where's Elijah? Oh, Elijah's at Pedro's house. I know where Pedro lives. I know where everyone lives. These towns are so small. I drive to Pedro's town. I'm still calling Elijah. My Diego, he's like, maybe he's just trolling. Like, it can't be. He finally answers. I'm like 2 minutes from Pedro's. He answers. He's like, oh, what's up? I'm like, what do you mean my boyfriend got on the school bus? He doesn't ride the school bus. I'm confused. He's like, oh, we took a field trip. Because me and my boyfriend go to different schools. You know, because we go to different schools. He goes to Elijah's school. I don't. I'm like, you took a field trip? Like, my boyfriend never told me. He's like, yeah, we took a field trip. And, this little girl, oh, what's her name? Brayden, what's her name? I hear Brayden in the back. Oh, her name's Kay. But her name's not actually Kay. It's pretty unique. It's a name you won't just make up on the spot. It's a name that was given to her by her mother, okay? It's a name that a boy's not just gonna make up, okay? I'm like, what? I'm outside of Pedro's, so come out because we need to talk. He's like, no way you're outside. Pedro, Brayden, Elijah, they come outside. I'm standing out there in the freezing cold, me and Diego, and I'm like, guys, what? Like, tell me what happened. Like, explain to me what happened. I'm so, like, confused. And they're like, Tati, it was a joke. It was a joke. Look at your face. It was a joke. Like, what are you talking about? It was a joke. And I'm like, no, it's not. You literally told me her name. And Brayden's like, I made that name up. You did not make up that name. That name is pretty unique, you know? What? He's like, I swear my mom, word to my dad, I made that name up. Brayden. Anyways, I'm upset. I'm like, Pedro, tell me, is it true? He's like, no, we're joking. So I'm delusional. I'm like, okay, it's a joke. My boyfriend finds out I'm at Pedro's. He's mad. He texts me, why are you at Pedro's house? Why are you harassing my friends? What's going on? And I'm like, dude, they told me that you got on the school bus. You went on this field trip I didn't even know about. And he's like, bro, on the field trip, I sat by Xavier, and he sends me a picture of him and Xavier sitting by each other, his friend. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, they told me it was a joke though, so like, cool. And he's like, yeah, it's a joke. You're so embarrassing going to their house. I hate you. Whatever. So I'm like, fuck. I guess I am embarrassing. That was kind of embarrassing. I go home. I'm sleeping. It's like 2 a.m. Elijah texts me. Tati, by the way, it wasn't a joke, but I had to say that because I didn't know you were gonna pull up and they were gonna call me like a snitch. And I was like, what do you mean it wasn't a joke? What do you mean? And he's like, yeah, it was true. Like, I have a picture. And I'm like, what? Call me. I call him. I'm in tears. I'm crying. And he's like, bro, they were calling me a snitch. They were telling me like I'm fake because you pulled up and we're telling them. And I was like, oh, I didn't think about that. Sorry. And he's like, but I gotta tell you because like you're my friend. He sends me a picture. One of the most traumatizing pictures I've seen in my life. It's a picture of my boyfriend and a little girl. I say little because she looks young. She is. It's like laying on his shoulder and there's a blanket on them on the school bus. Okay? I'm like, AI, like it can't be real. It's real. And I find this girl on Instagram and I find out she's 15. My boyfriend's gonna be 18 in a week. In 1 week he's gonna be 18, she's 15. I DM her and I'm like, hey, is it true? Like, did you really like on the bus, baby girl? Like, you know, she responds and she's like, I didn't know he had a girlfriend. I would never, ever, ever do that if he had a girlfriend. Like, all his friends were telling me he was single. And I was like, great. Well, hi. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I would never do that. And I just felt so bad for her. I was like, girl, like, don't feed into his, like, wants and needs. Because now, look, like, they're saying this about you. Like, it's gonna ruin your reputation. I want to talk about reputation. But I was just like, you know. And she was like, no, like, I would never, like, let him do anything to me, blah, blah, blah. Bruh. I find out that there's a video of this. Somebody sends me a video. And all you can see, I don't know if, allegedly, you could see, like, the blanket, like, moving, okay? Like, what are you doing? Like, oh, God, it's traumatizing. I can't even, like, repeat it. On the school bus. On the school bus. A 15-year-old. He's gonna be 18. I'm going insane. I feel like I just, like, I'm going insane. I'm literally going insane. Like, I'm going insane. So I text my boyfriend all the proof. And I'm like, so it was a joke? And he's like, bro, she was begging me, by the way. She's 15, okay? You're gonna be 18 in a week, bro. And I was like, we're done. And he was like, no, please. And I was like, I hate you. Like, why? How embarrassing for you and for me and for that little girl. The worst part is 5 months later, we got back together and dated for a whole nother year. And I still love Elijah for being so real. And me and Pedro and Brayden are fine, even though they lied to my face. But I would lie too for my friend.
Let me tell y'all about how I knew it was probably time for a divorce. So it started one morning about 4 or 5 months ago. So y'all, this is fresh. This is still pretty new. I was still in my bed and my husband was in the shower. I'm sleeping good. And of course his alarm starts going off. When I went to go turn it off, I saw something very interesting. So you know how on iPhones and Androids, like you can see the last media played on your phone and it kind of scrolls across the screen? Well, when I picked up his phone to go turn the alarm off, the last media that was played was corn. Not corn, y'all know what I mean. Now I didn't get mad right away. I mean, I'm not a prude. I watch corn from time to time. But it was the timing. It was 7 a.m, right before work. And it was just sitting there on his screen like it was the fucking weather app. The reason this bothered me is because a couple years back, he had an emotional affair that apparently had carried on for like a year. And one of the things that he blamed it on back then was a corn addiction. So seeing this on his phone felt very familiar, let's just say. So I texted him. Probably not the best way to deal with this, but I wanted to name what I saw and give him a chance to be honest. So I told him, I said, I wasn't snooping. I just was turning off your alarm. Is there anything that I should know? This is what I asked him. So this Negro immediately calls me and he's like, well, I wasn't expecting you to see this. And I was like, well, shit, I wasn't expecting to see it either. Is there anything going on? He's dodging me. He ducking, dodging, not trying to answer the question. Finally, after the third time I asked, he finally said it. He'd been thinking about polyamory. Y'all didn't see it going there now, did you? Now listen, polyamory wasn't even new to us. Not that we participated in it, but I had casually brought it up to him over like a decade ago. Like it was one of those maybe in 10 years conversations. But this Negro never let it go. And here we were. So at first I was devastated, I'm gonna be honest. But I was also so broken at that point in our relationship that I actually tried to entertain it, y'all. I started texting him rules and boundaries and shit, like I was prepping for it. But eventually I got quiet and I realized that I don't want this. I can't do this. And I told him that and he seemed fine with it. That night he came home and we barely spoke to each other. But let me tell y'all what I did. I sat on the couch, I opened up my laptop, pulled up a Google Doc, and I literally sat there for a couple of hours and wrote out everything. 16 years of history, the good, the bad, the none, and then I dropped all that shit into ChatGPT. And I asked ChatGPT, does this man love me? And ChatGPT did the equivalent of a long sigh. And it laid out all the facts and said, from what you're describing, it does not sound like love. Y'all, let me tell you, I physically threw up and I didn't need ChatGPT to tell me this. I was there, but just to see it on paper, that shit rocked me. And so I went to him and I asked, why do you love me? And his answer You take care of me and you take care of the kids. And let me tell y'all are probably like, girl, he had been honestly saying this for years when I would ask him. We'd been together for 16 years, so of course I'd asked him this question before. But this time, something broke. Or maybe something finally clicked. I don't know. It was like a movie scene, y'all. It was like a movie was playing in my head. Scene after scene, shooting in my head. All the moments I had brushed off. All the times I told myself, that's just how he is. It felt like I was watching like my own relationship on a screen, and suddenly I could not unsee it. I saw the emotional distance I had been excusing for years. The way I had been filling in the gaps, doing the heavy lifting to just keep us connected while he stayed absent. I realized I had been building the bridge both ways and calling it love. And in that moment, I finally saw it clearly. This wasn't just about him being broken. I was broken too. I had been so busy trying to carry the weight for both of us that I had just ignored how empty it left me. So from that moment on, we have lived in separate rooms. We were lucky and blessed enough to have a separate space for him to go. And at first, I thought that the space might spark some clarity. I thought maybe if I stepped back, he'd step forward and fill in the gap. But what I've gotten instead was mostly silence, avoidance, and distance. And that's when I realized this isn't the beginning of healing for our marriage. This is the beginning of the end of it. But here's the thing though. I don't share this for pity, and I'm not trying to bash him. It's just the truth, my truth. I share it because I know so many women are sitting in that same quiet confusion, just wondering if they're crazy for feeling unloved while just holding everything together. You're not crazy. You're not weak, and you damn sure aren't alone. So let me ask you this. Have you ever had that one moment where everything just clicked and you knew the relationship you were in wasn't built to last? This was my story.
My sister-in-law suddenly expects me to act like her kid's aunt, and I refused. My brother is trying to fix our relationship, but I am not interested. Am I wrong? I, 29 female, have 2 older brothers, and this is going to be related to James, 34 male. Sometime around 3 years ago, James met his now wife, Aria, 33 female, and they got married the following year. Aria also has 2 kids from her previous marriage, but I'll come back to it later. Ever since they started dating, Aria has been very clear about her boundaries when it comes to our family. She claimed her previous marriage was a disaster because her ex-husband was a mommy's boy. Her ex-mother-in-law was very involved in their lives, and she refused to have the same happen with James. James, I assume, being in love with her and wanting to start a family, basically agreed with everything, so the result was getting him isolated from our family. My parents were never crazy. My mom was never an evil type of mother-in-law, and this can be confirmed by my other brother's wife, who has an amazing relationship with my mom. To be honest, we would have expected more from James, at least to defend us a little in front of his wife, or try to keep a closer relationship with us. But he didn't, so we spoke to him once, voiced our concerns about her being a controlling nightmare, and that was it. We left him to do whatever he wanted. Ever since Aria joined our family, our relationship with them is disgustingly sterile and fake. We only see them for certain events like Christmas, Easter, and birthdays, and everything that comes from them is so formal, I guess. I don't know how to explain it, but they never share anything with us. The only thing they talk to us is small talk, like, how are you? How have you been? Blah, blah, blah. That's it. A recent example that comes to mind is that my brother got a big promotion and somehow it slipped during a dinner we had. They never mentioned him getting that promotion. It was something like, yeah, now my new role, my schedule changed a little bit. I tried to make a joke and told him, wow, good job keeping it a secret, bro. And Aria told me it was not a secret, but they are a private family and don't feel like disclosing financial information. Like, what the f***? No one asked about finances or money. Aria's sister recently passed away, and now she suddenly expressed that my sister-in-law and I should be more involved as her kids' aunts. I told her I'm sorry for her loss, but I'm only an aunt to my other brother's kids, not hers. She told me this is wrong because we are a family, and I mentioned that I personally don't consider her or her kids my family. She is my brother's wife, her kids are my brother's stepkids, and that's it. And honestly, I barely consider James my family anymore, since we are now only related by blood and nothing else. I'm not going to take over a role that I don't want for people who I barely know. Apparently my words affected James, who asked me if I mean what I said. I told him, yes, I mean it. He asked me what he can do to make it better, and I told him, I don't know. How do you fix 3 years of treating your siblings and parents like shit because of some strangers that entered your life in your 30s? He claims he's willing to try for us to go back to how things were, but I told him I'm not interested. He can continue playing happy family with his wife and her kids. He doesn't need me for it because I am not a clown to entertain his wife's kids when she feels like it.